today I observed your lesson on character analysis, right? Took some notes. You started off by showing a series of short films, and they had to analyze the characters based off the short films, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. One of the videos that I saw, Jerry's Game, was very funny. It was highly entertaining. Your students seemed to think so as well. But then, when it came to the end of the videos, when you asked them to analyze the different aspects of the characters, half of them appeared to not know what you were talking about at all, and half of them didn't appear to be engaged at all.
Unfortunately, that is correct.
All right. So real quick breakdown of the class. They are all ninth graders, and this is an English class, co-taught?
Yes.
All right. So ninth grade English co-taught. So first thing we are going to do, let's go through a series of questions. Okay. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, how would you rank that lesson?
A 7.
A 7. Okay. What was your favorite part about that lesson?
I liked the acknowledgement that I got from the children, that they enjoyed the short films that I was showing. So that let me know that I was at least on their level. I knew what was going to entertain them. So that was nice.
Okay. And then what would you have changed to move that lesson closer to a 10?
Incorporated something to initiate their engagement after watching the film, to kind of tie in that involvement from just watching the film to being able to talk about the film.
Okay. So that is probably what we're focusing on then. Engagement. I know how to spell things. All right. 4. Would your students be doing differently? What would your students be doing differently if your class was a 10?
They would be talking on topic, showing me that they comprehend the lessons that I teach. They would be able to discuss using formal vernacular, especially about character analysis, for this particular lesson, and they would be able to write about it as well.
Okay. All right. So tell me more about what that would look like.
It would look like an engaged class, like a talkative class, and it would look like a lot more A's on the report cards.
All right. So increase engagement with better grades to go with it.
Right.
That is the goal, isn't it? For every class. So how do you think we will measure these changes?
I think that we would have less blank answers on formative assessments. So if I give a sheet of questions with a video, I'd get less back that had some blank responses. I'd get a clear difference in how thought out those responses were. They'd be complete sentences, not just, funny character. I would get STEAL, steal strategy, and they would be able to map that out. So a visible difference and a measurable difference.
Awesome. Okay, then. So do you want that to be your goal?
Yes.
All right, and if you can hit that goal, would it really matter to you?
Absolutely. I'd be able to sleep better at night for sure, knowing that my kids know how to characterize.
All right, what teaching strategy can you use to hit your goal?
Something that involves technology. That really seems to touch base with them.
Okay, and what do you think some next steps would be?
Letting them use their phones.
Okay. All right. So, now that we've gone through that, so we're going to formally identify a goal out of that. So, based off of these and saying that you want more engagement with better grades, showing that measurably, we can say that your goal is to increase student engagement during formative assessment while using technology-based strategies. Would you agree that that's going to be our goal?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. So now we need to identify a student-focused goal. So what do we need? What are the students going to be doing, and what are we going to be measuring from them?
So the students are going to articulate character analysis in complete sentences to me.
All right, and how are we going to, what kind of measurement are you looking for here? What do you think their numeric goal will be to demonstrate this?
75% enthusiastic engagement.
Okay.
Correct. Enthusiastic engagement.
And the 75% will be on our formative assessments that we're
Right.
going to be building. Okay.
Exactly.
Cool. So overall goal, increasing student engagement, and then student focus goal is they're using the STEAL strategy,
Right.
and this will be measured at least a 75% on a formative assessment.
Yes.
Cool. All right. So, time we have 6 minutes. So there's a couple things that I have found that might work pretty well for this. First, we're going to look at Socrative, which is a new, well, it's not really a new resource. It's been around for a little bit, but I did learn about it this semester.
I've never heard of it.
All right, Socrative is pretty great. Let me see, do I have a login? I'm pretty sure I have a login. Yes, I do. So Socrative offers a bunch of different, Socrative offers a bunch of different formative assessment options, and one of the ones that should help with increasing student engagement, and that you can also get measurable assessment from, is this space race option. And they can either do it individually, they could do it in teams, and it is interactive where it will show you. Let me see if I can pull up a video of space race, because it actually looks pretty cool in person, like when it's used. So it is Socrative. All right. So this guy talks. Here we go. The demo. So we have the different colors, and as they answer and get them correct, they can see their little rocket increase.
So it makes
So-
it competitive.
It does. It makes it competitive, and they can see in real time what they're getting correct. So it will involve a little bit of pre-planning. You'll have to have your questions set up, and you'll have to have your answer key set up. But it's pretty user-friendly. Like, please confirm. So yes, and then you can upload your own quizzes and questions, or you could find some that are already in the bank of Socrative quizzes. And so you can really individualize it to each class depending on how difficult you want the questions to be or how easy, and then you can adjust further lesson plans based off this data.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, and Socrative is really cool because you can also import your own rosters, like your rosters, into it. So then you have assessment that is tied to individual students.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so you can really personalize it and individualize it when you go back and later analyze your data. Okay, the next thing that I was thinking for you is including Twitter into your class,
They
because
would love that.
they do love Twitter. They love to be on their phones, and we have a kind of strict phone, or a very strict phone policy here, where they can only have phones out with teacher permission. So they always get really super excited whenever you say, all right, pull your phones out. So a couple things that you could do, you could either do live tweeting, so you could have them live tweet their character analyses using the STEAL strategy, which you could later go in and look at, or you could have them post a brief tweet about whatever it is that you want them to do, and then you can go back and look at them. You can look at them then and there, or you can analyze them later, and you could create a rubric that says, they did the S part correctly, the T part correctly, whatever that STEAL strategy involves. So typically I have seen kids really like it when they get to do things like that.
Right.
And the last thing that could kind of pair with both of these is creating an infographic because you are fairly tech savvy, correct?
Yes.
So one thing you could do to really pull in some interest in the actual strategy itself is you can create an infographic, which you have done before. Yes?
Right.
All right, so you could do that explaining what the steal strategy is, and it could either be an infographic that you have on the board or that they could pull up on their phones. And that way they could have it right there to look at if they need to.
Right.
So those are the things that I've pulled for you.
Awesome. I think that all three of those are very viable options for my class, and I will definitely utilize them.
Awesome. So I think we have hit everything that we need to.
Thanks for your help, Coach.
Hopefully you could implement some of these and let me know how it turns out.
Of course.